Welcome back to Codesign Classroom. We're here for another session and here with Terri Ann again. Good to see you, Terri Ann.
Peekaboo.
We're talking about language because we've got up on the screen this slide or this idea, which is an exercise in the McKercher book, Sticky Notes, and it's called Buzzword Bingo. And it's the idea that you can develop this game which kind of deconstructs some of the language that you use in your organization. It can be used in different ways, and there's lots of language games and ways that we can focus on language in the system. But I wanted your take really, Terri Ann, on the importance of language and whether it's something, as we try to work together purposefully in different co-design participation projects, what attention do we need to pay to language, do you think?
Wow. Well, as part of communication, the words that we use is one of the biggest things. It's your words, your tone, and then your body language, and then you put it all together. So words are a really, really powerful tool. But at the same time, it's also powerful for a professional to remember that words will be heard from wherever the person is hearing them from, if that makes sense. So, like when I looked at the slide, I seen the word disruptive. So, disruptive, you would think is a punitive word. You'd think it's negative. It means someone's bad, they're making noise, they're distracting. But actually, what do we do as relational activists? We disrupt.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it depends. If you'd asked me that word and this question 10 years ago when I was disruptive, I would have had a completely different perception on it. So we as professionals must always remember that someone's response to our words doesn't mean that we've necessarily done something wrong. It just means that they're hearing it from whatever their world is happening to them at that time.
Yeah,
I quite like the word disruptive,
yeah,
especially now. I didn't back then, but I do now because to disrupt for me means that the line's going, but I'm going to stop it and I'm just going to re-divert it. It doesn't mean that it's going to be a bad thing. I'm not going to stop it completely. I'm just going to disrupt it and re-divert it so it works a little bit differently.
yeah. I really like that. And when you've got your kind of business as usual, there's a model called Three Horizons, which looks at like what's our preferred future, where we're trying to head to, then what's the business as usual, what's happening now, and then there's this like third, they call it horizon, but like third line, this space where all this like different stuff's happening. People are trying to get stuff going to change things, to disrupt maybe the business as usual by doing things that are positive. It's like a positive disruption or hopeful disruption, isn't it? And maybe
Mm-hmm.
that shows that if you are working together, as long as you're open and clear, you can develop a language, a shared language, can't you? That might actually be a bit highfalutin and a few of the wordy words in there, but as long as everybody's clear and you know where you're headed, then I think it can be helpful sometimes, can't it?
Well, I think it's the ability to be able to change language depending on the setting. So, as again, I'll always draw on my lived experience as a care leaver. So, as a care leaver, you learn to adapt to wherever you move to, new rules, new accents, new belief systems. So you learn to you've got a different mask for every arena that you go into. So right now I'm speaking quite professionally, considering how I speak normally. But if I was working with my young people, I wouldn't be speaking like this. There'd be an element of professionalism there because it's my job.
Mm.
But I speak to them like I spoke to my friends when I was a kid. And you know what? I get the most respect from them for that because I don't come across to them as condescending. I don't come across like I know everything. Sometimes they'll say stuff and I'll know that they're wrong, but I wouldn't tell them that they're wrong. I'll ask them questions in a way that'll help them see it for themselves and then maybe reframe it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then I can go I can go from that and then go straight speak straight away to a bunch of professionals or trustees outside and have to completely change the words, but I always try and stay true to me.
Yeah.
So Yorkshire accent, as you can hear. So there's a bit of northern in me, but I'm a Scouser for true. That's where I'm from. So I will always try and be natural to myself, and I don't. And I'm not going to say, standing in a presentation or in a group full of professionals to sit and F and blind. But if the odd natural word just comes out in the flow, I don't see it as a bad thing because I'm real, I'm human, I'm saying it how I see it. And I think the biggest barrier that we find is a lot of people don't want to connect with professionals because of how we talk. We come across like we know better. We come across with these big words that half of the people might not understand the context of. They might take it offensively, going back to what I said, from where they're coming from.
Mm.
So it's being able to adapt your language as well to the setting, but always be true to you, especially with young people, because they will smell you out in an instant.
Yeah, I've had that experience as well, so as a professional, and then where you're coming at it, maybe not being as direct as you could be and not being as clear. And yeah, I've had that experience of being challenged. And I mean, it's good to be gently challenged by you on language as well, on this film Terri Ann. It's always a pleasure. And all right, we're going to put all of the links to Terri Ann's work that she's doing in the description of the video. So do check that out. And we'll see you next time. Thanks very much.
Bye.